I have no idea how to do this, so let's get started. Max Payne 2 is a game from 2003 by Remedy Entertainment and a sequel to the first game, Max Payne. In it, you play as Max Payne, a detective in a noir New York setting complete with gangsters, the Russian mob, and special forces. If you've never heard of Max Payne, this might trick you into thinking this is an early detective game where you find clues and piece together a bigger mystery to tear apart a conspiracy. No. You're a noir detective stuck in an action game, and Max might be aware of that. Anyway, the game starts with Max, like every noir detective ever, monologuing his thoughts for the audience to give him a taste of what's to come.
God, I turned out to be such a damsel in distress.
They were all dead. Love kills. Did I love her? Was there a choice? The past is a gaping hole.
Then it throws you a little earlier into the story for a small tutorial, gives you the basics, and then it kicks you even further back in so you can experience what a shitshow Max has been having over the last few days of his life. But that comes with spoilers, so I'll stop myself there. Before we go too much further, this is an old game, and it can struggle running on modern hardware, but thankfully there's about 101 fixes on the Steam community page alone. You can find a fix fairly easily. That said, you might notice some stuttering in my gameplay, especially in any of the dream sections, because I only installed one and in my arrogance thought it would be fine. Still, I'll link the fix that I used in the description. Now, let's talk about noises. The background noise of the game is constant, usually rain battering the building you're in and on the road, but there's also blowing wind, police sirens, raging fires all around you, the fun stuff you'd expect.
There's a bloody chainsaw in the bathtub, and by the looks of it, they had been shot in your bed. The murder weapons have your prints all over them, and you say you didn't do it.
For I'm a rain dog too.
Stay sharp. Gonna rain something else too when the cleaners show up.
It's kind of amazing how much effort they put into making sure the atmosphere stayed with you, wherever you might be in the game. Unfortunately, the same can't entirely be said for some of the guns. They sound somewhat weak, like they're missing bass in their audio, but all of them are very distinct. You'll always know what you're being shot at.
Shoot him! Hey, you!
Though, neither of these really compare to the voice acting, which is pretty special. Max's voice, performed by the late James McCaffrey, is the perfect mix of sarcasm and annoyance at all the shit he gets put through. Like, who else but him would have these moments?
I'd found the sniper's hideout. The room was full of surveillance equipment. They'd been spying on me for days, weeks, months even. My every action observed, recorded, analyzed. The place was the proof every paranoiac dreams of. Like always, the dead had all the answers I was missing. It wasn't that they weren't eager to talk. Quite the contrary. The dead had plenty to say. And once they started, they would never shut up. Their words would keep you awake at night. The bodies, all the evidence of all the murders the cleaners had done. All the answers. It would take days to dig through it.
New York sucks. Everyone else is great too, although they all really do have a different tone to them. It helps keeping them distinct from one another.
Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to present Max Payne, New York's finest, with the biggest monster body count ever. Theater skits. Prepare to die.
They hit you home? It's like a friggin' kindergarten out there. What next? A kid with a bag full of guns and a head full of video games turns the house into a shooting gallery. Breaks my heart.
They're after him. The elevators work with the apartment keys and from the desk here. They've jammed most of them to the floors they're on. The guard set off the alarm before they were killed.
We need to do this fast.
Shouldn't we just wait for the cops? Here, so we can stay in touch.
But the enemies, well, you're gonna notice the same voices a lot between them. Don't get me wrong, it's all good quality, and certainly lets you know if you've been seen.
Shoot him! Hey, you!
Stop him!
You can't hide!
Cover me, coward! Shoot! Damn!
But you'll have heard about all of the call-outs by the mid-game. Though even if a lot of them do share voices, they do interact with each other a lot with what few voice actors are there, and they all feel kind of real. Like, they're on the job, and they might be horrific killers, but they're also people with weird little quirks and oddities about them.
Me off more than anything when they do that. It's an insult. That's what it is. We're trying to clean the place. They should have more sense than to bleed on the floor. One look at the boss, and bam! The Ice Queen goes like this. She wants him bad.
And as for the music, you might think there's not much of a proper soundtrack outside of the main theme, the odd tune here and there, and one very specific example, which if you know, you know. But there's almost an hour of music, either for character moments or specific parts of combat.
The perps were masquerading as cleaners.
Although they can play pretty infrequently, so honestly, you could be forgiven if you forgot the game had a soundtrack half of the time. The main theme works pretty damn well though for the game, starting moody and sad before moving into something more overwhelming and sad. The one song that people might recognise from this game is Late Goodbye by Poets at the Fall. You'll hear it a lot, likely without realising it up until you've heard it at the credits. Interesting little tidbit. This was the first song they'd ever performed and was their debut single a year later, based on a poem by the head writer, Sam Lake, who modelled Max in the first game and slapped his face all over the in-game TVs.
Mira's men had found me. I ran.
Stop him! There he goes! Stop him! You can't escape!
Now, I was tempted to get into the weeds of the plot, but while I was scripting this, I realised I kinda didn't need to. The game's about 6 hours long on the lowest difficulty, and you learn a lot just by the comic cutscenes alone. Honestly, if I wanted to do a story breakdown, I would just do a full playthrough with commentary, but I'm doing a review, not a playthrough. I'm also not at all confident in my ability to do it justice, so I'm just going to give some brief thoughts and move on. Now, while I love the story of the game, it is incredibly linear. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but you're going to try and come to your own conclusions in this semi-mystery game, but Max will draw you to the correct ones anyway by his own internal conclusions.
Everything had started out as black and white. Somewhere down the road, the line went blurry. The colors started to run, got smudged and gray. Winterson had been above my suspicion. It felt like a goodbye.
I know of her. Her reputation as a hired killer. I hear she is a stone fox. I would fuck her.
Right then, I hated Vlad.
Max, I need to ask your advice as a friend.
Ask.
Not that it stops the story from being entertaining though. As serious and as gritty as Max in the cutscenes might try and trick you, the game has a bizarre sense of humour at times, which isn't all that surprising if you've played the first game.
Red, blue, or green?
It's always red or blue in the movies.
So, green?
No, not the green.
You'll mostly be seeing it through the cleaners, either complaining about the mess dead bodies leave or by playing piano with just a dead body draped over it. Like I said, they all have little quirks. We've also got the dream sequences, but they're not nearly as much of a ball ache as the first game was. I played that on console and had a save right at the edge of this stupid red line walkway, and whenever I loaded it, I would fall and die. That's not a thing here, thank God. But they are necessary for Max as a way to help collect his thoughts and reflect on all he's learned or whatever regrets he might be carrying. After all, dreams are just a collection of memories. Anyway, the story's good, but a game needs gameplay, and I need a segue, so let's talk about that. I can't understate how good the gameplay feels moment to moment. There is a reason why this and the first game all but decided this is what third-person shooters would be for the next few years. Not least of all because of John Woo. If you ever wondered why bullet dive and slow-mo in games got so popular, you can draw a pretty clear line straight back to Max Payne. The important thing to note is that this game can be hard. Not as hard as the first one, but the game can still hit you with an unexpected enemy or a cluster of grenades that may or may not land near you. And sometimes all bullet dive does is just let you see death coming in slow motion. Go figure, the game likes to inflict pain.
It's a late goodbye, such a late goodbye, and we keep driving into the night.
However, this is offset by the fact that just about every enemy dies almost as easily as you, and oh, Jesus, I haven't even started talking about how the weapons work. What's there to say? They're good at what they do. Though some are a bit odd, the Desert Eagle is very high power, very accurate, and a far more reliable sniper than most of the actual rifles, up until the point you dual wield them. There's both a sniper rifle and a Dragunov. I don't think I used the sniper rifle. And the 9mm falls to the wayside pretty quickly, at least on the base difficulty. Ooh, the bullets are projectile models. I don't know if it came through in recording, but in the gunfights you can see the actual bullets flying past you or at whatever you're shooting at. Which is cool, but it's made better by the interactivity of all the objects around you. Most things will be knocked around by bodies or be sent flying by bullets. It's always nice to feel seen by the level designers. The Funhouse has some fun interactivity by itself, but this doesn't get played with too much, which honestly makes me kinda sad, but I'm happy I at least got one level of this instead of no levels like this. Besides, there are other smaller ways to mess with enemies. Speaking of levels, you've got a nice variety of places to go through. Apartments, empty lots, condemned buildings, hallways, lots of hallways. Everywhere you'd expect for a New York setting, with the exception of the last mission in the mansion. And sometimes the levels have built-in destructibility. Some of it you notice, and some of it will take you off guard.
Just a ghost.
And that's not even to begin with all the explosives that the enemies have just left laying around. If you're not paying attention, it's a very good way to send yourself to the Shadow Realm.
Stop! The room's full of explosives! Stop shooting! Oh shit! Run! Run!
If I have any complaints about the game, then it has to be with the final boss. They're not much of a challenge or a test of skill or what have you. You shoot some red joints, you shoot some more red joints, then you kill him. But I'm fine with the last part of the game being mediocre instead of being terrible. Better to cross the finish line than plant face first in the dirt at the end. You know, when I started the script, I'd honestly forgotten how much I liked this game, even looking past the nostalgia of my childhood. Max Payne 2 is a fun game. It helped form my tastes in storytelling, and Remedy is still around as well. They made Alan Wake 2 in 2023, and that was my favourite game of that year. Yes, it beat out Baldur's Gate 3, sue me. But if the game seems even slightly interesting, all I can say is get it. It's about $15 Australian on Steam, so like 20 cents American. I don't know the conversion. I don't know how to end this. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed it, I guess. I really don't know what to say or how to cap this off, really. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you and goodbye.
Now, nothing was left of it. I wasn't happy about the way the cleaners were doing their job.